right, this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a little prime time special pop-up show for everybody here on a Sunday. We are about, 28 plus 20, about 48 minutes away from Sunday Night Football. It is the Lions and the Chiefs, and by far and away, the best matchup of the day today. I'm going to bring in Mikey here in a second. Let's give you some updates on the late games that just went final moments ago as we were coming on the air. The Raiders, they get it done against Tennessee 20-10. The Tennessee Titans, short-lived over the Cardinals last year. The Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love, very systematic. They win 27-18. They get a late field goal, late. Great play by Jordan Love. They were up by 6. Get that field goal, and the Fighting Joe Flacco's now continue to be subpar. And then the big late one that just went finals, Baker Mayfield. And they talked about it on the postgame show. He should be the betting favorite or just the favorite for the MVP because he continues to play great football, a lot of injuries. They beat San Francisco. We'll talk about a devastating injury in that game for the 49ers as Fred Barner gets carted off, and he is the heart and soul of that defense. So the 49ers without Brock Purdy and now without Fred Barner, without Bosa, I don't know how many more losses they can stomach. They fall to 4-2, and Tampa Bay now has the best record in the entire league at 5-1, and make sure that I get that correct. Yeah, 5 on that side, and then the AFC. In the AFC, you just have teams with 4. So the Bucs are the first team to 5 wins. All right, we're going to break it all down, and then in about 20 minutes, we'll get you set for Sunday Night Football. And the man, it's always here. He embraces the grind here at Coaching Company, my man Mikey P from Sure Dog USA. Mikey, real quick, your thoughts on the late big one. As football fans, as sports fans, we want to see the best players out there. And the 49ers now, another devastating injury and a loss. Just a horrible afternoon for them down there in Tampa.
It absolutely was. And just a note for everyone who watches NFL games, when you immediately see players on the other team motioning to the sideline, it's not good. And it's more than likely, if not a season-ending injury, it's going to be a long one. We don't know the status of Fred Warner's injury, but his leg was in an air cast. They were calling it an ankle injury. So for the foreseeable future, he is out. Here's another thing that shocked me. Just talk about the not devastating injuries. For the 49ers defense, Coach, did you know they have an NFL record 13 games without an interception?
Wow.
That's incredible. It's over 400 passing attempts. And now easy would be to say, oh, Robert Saleh, why did he come back? No, he inherited that mess. But I would think a team like the Niners, if you're not creating turnovers, if you're not picking the ball off, you lose Nick Bosa, and you lose Fred Warner, you better be calling every single bad team in the league if you want to remain a contender in the division. So the 49ers, I expect them to be active on the trade market in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I said Fred Barner for some reason. Fred Warner. Thank you for correcting me. Good Lord. Fred Barner. Good Lord. Where did that come from? I think it was the nap that I decided to take because the early games were so bad. I was like, I'll doze off. Apparently, my brain hasn't turned on yet as well. Chat Queen Kimberly says, too many injuries this year. Kim, I agree with you. My man Walsey, premium member, says, took Baker this morning for this MVP per Raphael. And Mikey, if the games continue to go this way and other players have kind of off days, if the Bucs continue to have the best record and they continue to win these really tough, gutty games, it's going to be very, very hard for people not to vote for Baker Mayfield as the MVP.
Yeah, I said it multiple times. I actually thought, for as much as you don't respond to my text, I thought you were going to actually text me and say, stop tweeting about Baker, because that's all I did during the late afternoon game. The dude is magical. He had, in my opinion, I'm calling it right now, the best play of the season. I believe it was 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. Oh, there's no Emeka Ibuka. There's no one on the field. Don't worry. I got it. Scrambles for a 16-yard first down run, gets up, flexes on him. I love Baker Mayfield. And when you talk about the Bucs having the best record in the NFL, we always say don't just give the MVP to the quarterback. Give it to the best player in the league. Well, right now, the best player in the league through 6 weeks is Baker Mayfield, and that's why the Bucs are the best team in the league.
Hey, Mikey.
Yes.
Stop tweeting about Baker Mayfield. I only saw one. If I would have saw two, best believe I would have shut that down in a hurry. A couple other stats. Mac Jones continues. He's gutting it out. I mean, his knee clearly when he runs, it's not. I wouldn't even call it 80%. But 347 there, 0 touchdown. He did have 2 costly interceptions today. Chris McCaffrey, he's probably telling the rest of his family, this sucks. He does have 111 yards combined, but it's like 57 on the ground or in the air, 54 on the ground. But everybody's keying on him. I mean, every single person is keying on him. So now San Francisco, they fall to 4-2, and they who do they have next? So they have next Sunday home to Atlanta. And then their bye week is not until week 14. So they're set up at least for the bye week. I hate like the week 5. I think it's an unfair advantage when you have a bye week 5 or somebody else is a bye week, but it's the way it has to be. I mean, I know they rotate it every year, so I get that. All right. I already mentioned the other 2 late games, the Packers. What did you make of Green Bay? Because Cincinnati, Joe Flacco they traded and Joe Flacco getting the start today. He must feel like he doesn't even know who these guys are that he's throwing to. This is not the first time in his career, but 2 questions. We'll have one on the Packers, one on the Bengals, I guess. Green Bay, 27-18. We haven't seen them in a little while. Jordan Love is starting to be way more in control. Doesn't take nearly as many chances as he has in years before. I think the Packers are very much alive to be the best team in the NFC. It's going to be exciting to see them play the Lions the second time.
It absolutely is. And here's what I love about the NFL season. It was not less than a month ago that we were Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, Micah Parsons. It's okay to not have to put somebody in a headline and just let them play their game. I think Jordan Love played his game. Josh Jacobs is a weekly touchdown, so put him in every single betting slip that you have. He just finds the end zone. Jordan Love, I wasn't blown away, but he did just enough to win this game. But on the other side, Coach, Joe Flacco. I mean, is there another? I was so thrilled watching that game because I was like, he's going to do it again. He's going to beat the Green Bay Packers again. And then I was like, wait, I think he got there on Wednesday. And then they said on the broadcast that he was reading the playbook while he was in the car from Cleveland to Cincinnati. All right.
Wait a second. They couldn't get him a private jet from Cleveland to, hey, run down to Enterprise. We'll get you the small SUV, and you're good to go. Oh no, we'll get you a driver. Don't even worry about that. And then you can watch. Oh my goodness. The Bengals are such a hot mess, and there's certain players I think that are just destined to never have full seasons, and unfortunately, Joe Burrow is one of those. So now the Bengals. I mean, let's be honest. Their season's over. So let's jump into some of the early games that also matter. We'll get back to the AFC North in a second. But I want to start with the game that we focus a lot on in the morning show, and that was the Cardinals and the Colts. And the Cardinals kept this thing very interesting. They had the lead for most of the game until late, and then the Colts gained the lead 31-27. Daniel Jones, not fantastic, did go over 200. But it was the Cardinals. Jonathan Taylor, another great game, 123 on the ground. But tell me some of the injuries that happened in this one that people at home may not be privy to.
Backup quarterback Anthony Richardson, before the game, suffered a mishap with an elastic band. This is
like the ones like you would just kind of stretch out.
Yes, apparently it might have been a steel band because it gave him a fractured orbital that he suffered during pregame workouts. So he was taken to a hospital actually before the game even started. And then shortly thereafter, cornerback Charvarius Ward, yes, of the Indianapolis Colts, was running his defensive routes on the field, ran into a tight end, and gave himself a concussion, therefore also missing the game for the Colts.
Who's the head coach for the Colts right now? I can't even remember. Do you remember?
I believe it's Shane Steichen. I may be wrong on that.
All right.
Nope,
So
Shane. It's Shane Steichen.
All right, so Shane arrives at his coach's office today, and he's feeling good. First place team. We got ourselves a quarterback. We got ourselves a running back. He's just sitting there going over the game plan, minding it a little bit. Hey, Coach, probably not going to get our QB2 on the field today. He is at the hospital, a fractured orbital bone. Really? Did he get hit? Yeah, we'll talk about it later. 5 minutes later. Hey, Coach. So on the defensive side, one less player also in the tent. How do you get in the tent before the game starts for a concussion? Hey, they figured out a way. That is crazy. But they still won the game, and they improved to 5-1. And Jonathan Taylor, if they lose him at any point this season, their season might be over. They are making him the bell cow, and he has been absolutely amazing. And today, it wasn't an easy win, but they got the job done.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, just as much as I pound the table for Baker Mayfield and MVP, Jonathan Taylor's got to be a top leading candidate for Offensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. Without Taylor, the Colts are what the Giants were with Daniel Jones. I mean, it's just that simply put. But for this game, also, when players change their name, can we please send out some type of notice? Right, here we go. Right before the game, we all know about Amari DeMarcado last week, and then Michael Carter was the lead back. And right before the game, Adam Schefter says, Bam Knight will be the lead back for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm like, Bam Knight? As much as I know fantasy football, I don't even know Bam Knight. And then the app that I used did not update. So when Bam Knight scored a touchdown, it was Zonovan Knight. I don't know how you go from Zonovan Knight, formerly of the Jets, to Bam Knight, but what are we doing? Can we please let the public know about name changes?
Hey, Mikey, please stop tweeting about Baker.
Coach, what's the rule about jokes?
What's the rule? Can't do them twice. That one just felt funny, though. That one just felt funny. Oh, my God. What are we doing out there? Was today just a disaster across the board? Oh, my goodness. Let's stay in the AFC South because I don't know what happened to Jacksonville today, but they laid an absolute egg. And do not tell me that emotional letdowns are not real. Seattle went all the way to Jacksonville, and they got the job done 20-12. But one of the complaints I have is with coaches outsmarting themselves, okay? The Jacksonville Jaguars scored the touchdown to make it 20-12. So they decided, because of a penalty, I guess, that they're going to go for 2 to be down 6. When did we start this going for 2 to be down 6? So if you score another touchdown, you win the game. Because they didn't get it, and now they're down 8. So the next touchdown, just tying the game. It drives me insane. You're at home. You've got the home field crowd, Mikey. What are you doing? It ended up not causing an issue whatsoever, but they fall to 4-2. Not the team that we saw last week against Kansas City by a long shot.
Not the team we saw against Kansas City at all. For me, when you talk about things that are frustrating for these NFL teams, Coach, I don't know where you stand on this, but for me, I think it's very simple. There's been a few teams who have done this and many teams who have not. How many teams in the NFL want to establish their identity? We know their top players. We know their head coaches. We don't know their identity as a football team. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, are you going to be led by Trevor Lawrence, or are you going to let Travis Etienne have 100-yard rushes? I mean, we don't know. This week, they had 59 rushing yards as a team total. And I look at the Seahawks, who won this game, nearly 300 passing yards from Sam Darnold. I think when I look at this schedule for the rest of the year and I see the Seattle Seahawks, I go, what is Sam Darnold going to do to either win or lose this game for the Seattle Seahawks? He did enough to win this game today, and that's how I need to be looking at every single team. We're 6 weeks in. When I look at your team, I need to know who's going to win or lose you the game. And teams like Jacksonville, they don't have an identity yet.
They don't. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking. I mean, 27 yards to lead Jacksonville in rushing. That feels really good to me. That feels really solid to me. And the next guy is at 14, some dude named Tootin. Insert jokes here. And then you go 9-7-2. I mean, what are we doing today? What are we doing, Jacksonville? Then on the other side, my man Kenneth Walker, who also can't stay on the field to save his life in his career, he had 34. The star of the game, though, Jackson Smith Enigma, 162 on 8 catches. So he had a great game. He's a dynamic wide receiver that nobody talks about because he plays in Seattle. And Seattle gets no coverage whatsoever. They're kind of like the WNBA. I mean, I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
You really are. He is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, which is crazy because when they traded DK Metcalf, everyone's like, what are they going to do? And then they signed Cooper Kupp, and everyone's like, oh, they got Cooper Kupp. It's okay. And then JSN's like, oh, let me just ball out real quick. Hey, Coop, can you carry my bags, old man? Yeah. I'm going to go ball out.
Hold my beer, please. Quickly, the AFC West, obviously the Chiefs are playing in about 30 minutes from right now. Both of the first-place teams today got it done. In ugly fashion, the Broncos early morning, they beat the Jets 13-11. I'm kind of glad it was played in London because it was before anybody got out of bed, except for us. We were live at that time. You can't get that time back. And then the Dolphins showing, Mikey, why they are the Dolphins. They scored a go-ahead with 46 seconds to go in the game. And then what do? 40-yard kickoff return. And then Ladd McConkey is running on the field, apparently by himself, because they gave up a 42-yard reception in those final 40 seconds. Field goal, they win the game. And these are the little details that make teams good or make teams not so good. So the Chargers, they pull one, and they had really been in free fall mode. So 2 questions here. Do you still believe in the Chargers? And is Mike McDaniel the coach tomorrow in Miami?
To the first one, no, I do not believe in the Chargers. Why? Because they squeaked out a win against the Miami Dolphins. And to quote the godfather of this brand, Tommy C, when it comes to Mike McDaniel, he must know where the bodies are, because I don't know how he still has a job and James Franklin doesn't. So for me, Mike McDaniel, it is just insane. Here's the worst part. I'm not even going to talk to you about the game, Coach. I'm going to talk to you about what Tua had to say after the game. Calling out teammates, saying we've had players show up late to online player meetings. We have players no-show, player-only meetings in person. Oh, okay, guess who became public enemy number 1? Mike McDaniel can sit there and go, at least I'm not Tua, right? Like, Tua just bailed him out another week.
But I'm okay with that. I really, really am. What I'm not okay with is, how are you late to a Zoom meeting? All you got to do is hit the link and then sit back. You could be in your drawers. It doesn't matter. How are you late to physically? Okay. I have no issues with a quarterback calling out his teammates, especially in this instance, because you've already lost Tyreek. They're going to blow up this team anyway. They really are. And he's the one with the $200 million contract. Nobody else on that team's getting paid like Tua. So I'm okay with it. I see your point, but I'm okay with it. Quickly, let's get to a couple other games, and then we're going to get into Sunday Night Football, which kicks off in 30 minutes from right now. Going back to the AFC North, maybe Aaron Rodgers is turning over a new leaf because he's doing no interviews. He's causing no issues in the locker room. They're not going to win pretty, but they're winning. They are now in first place all by themselves and a couple game lead. When you look at it, they are 4-1. There's not another team in their division with more than 2. Cincinnati is now 2-4. So they have a 2.5 game lead over Cincinnati after 5 games, and they've already had their bye as well. Are you impressed with how the Steelers have decided with this group of guys, they're going to attack this season with great defense and Aaron Rodgers trying not to turn the ball over?
That's all it is. Aaron Rodgers is that older man who just shows up to work. He knows retirement's right around the corner. He doesn't get involved with anything. He clocks in, clocks out, and goes home. Unfortunately, he's about 10 years too late to that party because everyone wanted that for the past decade from Aaron Rodgers. He is still a very good quarterback. He's a respectable quarterback. I know we don't rant on Sunday nights, but I don't understand what the Cleveland Browns are doing. Maybe you don't get the fandom by bringing in Shador on the road and you're not at home, right? But Dylan Gabriel, first of all, when Caleb Williams passed for 52 times in one game, he went in the post-game press conference last year and went, I passed the ball 52 times? Damn. Dylan Gabriel was probably like, why did I pass the ball 52 times in this game? The kid is leaving his receivers out to die. Dylan Gabriel is not the answer, and I want chaos. I need the Shador Sanders talk. Pittsburgh is the class of the AFC North. Cleveland is once again the joke. Give the kid Sanders a shot.
You need to stop right here and right now. Put some respect. Less than 10 yards per completion? Come on! Only way to go is up with that. How do you average less than 10 yards per completion? That's really, really hard to do.
4.2, I believe it was. 4.
Oh, my God. No, 4.2 is the attempt. Yards per attempt. Per completion is about 8. Either way, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, 2 other bad losses. Quickly, we're going to hit on. And I know when you lose Lamar Jackson, a future Hall of Famer, it's going to be what it is. But this is as big of a disaster as you could possibly have in Baltimore. 17-3. Puka Nacua. Have you heard how serious it is for Puka?
I have not heard how serious it is, but real quick, if I can, Coach, I want to give the chat queen some love. She shared this. Fred Warner suffered a broken and dislocated ankle that will require surgery per Adam Schefter.
Thank you.
And we do have two questions here. Or one from Kevin Walsey. Kelsey, anytime touchdown. I know we're going to look ahead.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
And then there's this one here, which we haven't talked about this game, and I do want to talk about it. Why don't NFL coaches teach defenders to pick up and carry the running back into the end zone? Such the case came up in the Dallas and Carolina game.
Mike, are you hosting today or am I hosting today?
I am not. You are.
All right. And I've said I'm going to get to that game, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you like to hit on the Fred Warner injury that we already talked about?
Yeah, I mean, Fred's out, and like I said earlier, the 49ers are going to need to be active on the trade market.
Would you like to comment on the Ravens' loss 17-3 to the Rams?
The Ravens are terrible. They currently sit in the number 2 overall pick side for the draft, and this is exactly what happens when you go all in for a season or 2 or maybe even 3. I don't know that the Ravens understood how small the window is in the NFL. When you rely on DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry 5 years too late, kind of shows that you're not investing in your future. Now we see what happens when that plays out.
All right. And the last game that I wanted to hit on was the Cowboys. And they're actually lost today 30-27. Are there any comments in the chat on the actual Cowboys game today, 30-27? The over came in like we talked about on the morning show. But anything, Mikey, you'd like to answer from the chat?
Yeah, I just
Nate. It just happens to be there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, I'm still learning here, Coach. From Nate G, why don't NFL coaches teach defenders to pick up and carry running backs into the end zone? I don't know that we have any answers to what coaches do or don't do in the NFL, but I want to give some massive respect to Rico Dwaddle. Second week in a row, over 200 scrimmage yards. He told his former team in the Dallas Cowboys, who let him walk in free agency, to buckle up. And I don't know. I think they were just crash dummies in this game because Rico Dwaddle torched them. Bryce Young was a perfect 158.3 passer rating while trailing in this game. I don't think the Panthers are for real. I just don't know what to make of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, they're a 500 team. Dallas is not because they have that stupid tie on their record. How are you saying that last name with Rico one more time?
It's Rico Dwaddle.
I don't think so.
I've gone through this like 1,700
I don't think so. There's no you're putting a W where there's no W. It's Dowdle. Dowdle. You're putting a W in there. Are you not? Say it again. Dwaddle. You're saying Dwaddle. It's Dowdle.
Dowdle. That's
not what you're saying. You just changed it again. You took the W. Anyway, we'll deal with it tomorrow. We're going to call Soupy on this one. All right. Enough talking about the average games today. By the way, it is true, though. It is true. Carolina's 3-3. And Dallas is 2-3-1. All of a sudden, the NFC East just looks average at best. Washington plays your squad tomorrow, Monday Night Grind. We're going to be all over that. You guys right now, 2-2, you got a chance to be 3-2 tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's a big day for you, big dog. Are you going to be able to control your fandom, or are you going to be out of control tomorrow?
Do you want the real answer?
No, I know the real answer. All right, let's get into tonight's game, because when the Sunday night schedule came out, this was one of those that we circled. It's pretty clear every week, Mikey, when they show the numbers the last 3 seasons under Dan Campbell with Detroit, they've clearly established a culture. And as much as I despise how much he goes for it, I'm not a Lions fan, so he can do whatever he wants. I know this, players love playing for his ass. And I know this, that players after week 1, when everybody else was saying, boy, the Lions aren't as good as this year, all they've done the last several weeks is just bow down to their offense and use their studs. And now tonight, they've got a chance to really put the Kansas City Chiefs behind the 8 ball, because the Chargers and the Broncos won today. The Chiefs are 2-3 after losing at Jacksonville, so they need a big one. I had my insider, Mikey, send me a few videos and pictures. Didn't get a chance to load them, but it's going to be beautiful, 80 degrees, very unseason-like when you're talking middle of October in Kansas City. This is a really, really big one tonight. Let's start with the Lions going on the road. How difficult will this be for them?
Well, I think for Detroit, you've got to establish the run. I know Jacksonville got lucky, if you want to say it, with the 99-yard. I still believe the Chiefs had every opportunity to win that game. Detroit is at their best when Jared Goff is playing at his best. It kind of goes hand in hand, but I don't think Jared Goff gets to be the quarterback that he strives to be without a powerful run game. That's going to be hard against that Steve Spagnuolo-led defense. I would like to say this is a big opportunity for Jahmyr Gibbs, but you know how it is, Coach. When you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, it's David Montgomery. And when you look at David Montgomery, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. They have 2 weapons. They got to establish the run in this game.
Well, if you look at the numbers at BetMGM, the sportsbooks believe that Jahmyr Gibbs will get a bulk of the running tonight. His rushing number is much, much higher than David Montgomery's is. But when you look at their offense, and something that I would attack would probably be a team total. During their current 4-game winning streak, Mikey, they have not scored less than 34. And thank God Raphael's not here right now going, let's pump the brakes. It was Cincinnati. It was Cleveland. I don't care. They're an NFL team, and they've scored 34 or more 4 games in a row. So the Chiefs, as good as their defense has been, they have not been able to get off the field on 3rd down, and they just gave up 31 to Jacksonville. Would a team total be something that you would look at? As I hit on it right now, I hate when they do 35. All right, so right now, you know what? Answer that for me, and I'll give you the exact total here in a second once I find it. Do you like a team total tonight on either side?
Yeah, I do, and I will give Raf a little credit. I believe his one of his best bets for this evening was both teams to score 20. That could have been the Dallas Carolina game, but I think it was this game as well. So I really like that play. I think both these teams will score over 20, and I think this is where we start to have that conversation once again about how good the Chiefs can be. There's going to be those games you look back at the end of the regular season and go, they shouldn't have lost to Jacksonville. They shouldn't have lost this one. They should have stopped Justin Herbert on 3rd down in Brazil. But they beat the Lions on Sunday Night Football, because that's what I believe will happen. So I do like team totals, because the Chiefs are going to have to outscore the Lions in order to win this game.
And I apologize. I cannot figure out BetMGM and their team totals right now. I've got everything else. If anybody can help me out and put it in the chat, help me know, because I'm not going to spend time looking it up right now for all of you. The spread right now is down to 2.5. And this is also exactly what Raphael said, to wait, and it would come down. So the money line is at -150. I got to be honest with you. Every time that I get something below 3 in any game, I'm always like, well, I should really take the money line. And then I do, and I lose the game on the field. And I go, man, I just laid an extra 40 cents. I feel like tonight it might be worth it, because this feels like when the Lions go for 2 so much, you can get on an odd number. And when you get on an odd number, you have a lot of up by 1, then down by 2, or up by 2, then down by 1, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't mind the money line tonight, even though you're laying 50 cents, and that's a little bit juicy. What about you?
Yeah, I don't mind the money line here at all either. It does get very tricky when going up against a team coached by Dan Campbell. And there's a big factor on both sides at the same position for these teams. both teams starting left tackle will be out for this game. So if you need any other reason to believe that there will be plenty of points scored, I think it's right here because there's going to be pass rush. Defenses are going to get after it. Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes are two of the very best quarterbacks at getting the ball out of their hand. So I like almost any quarterback prop tonight, and I definitely like a lot of points to be scored in this one.
I think our guy Walsey is trying to talk himself into a bet because about 5 minutes ago he said Kelce first anytime touchdown ? Then 5 minutes goes by, he's like, first touchdown will be Kelce. I think he's trying to speak it into it. We're trying to manifest Kelce in the end zone at some point tonight. Now, just for him to score is plus 130. To me, I don't like an anytime touchdown that's less than plus 200. I really don't. But tonight, I think they're planning on each team having 3 to 5 touchdowns. So if you're going to do that, they got to bring the number down. Amon-Ra St. Brown is plus 110. Montgomery is minus money. Jahmyr Gibbs is minus. How do you have minus 155 to score a touchdown? It translates, we don't want you to bet on Jahmyr Gibbs to score a touchdown. So specifically for Walsey, do you think Kelce at plus 130 would be a good play?
I think Travis Kelce will find the end zone. So I think if you're just looking for a winning play, that is one to go with. But Coach, I think by the end of the year, the holidays are right around the corner. I think a man who I believe will get into the end zone tonight is going to be a guy who I will gift you something of his, and that is your favorite all-time Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, Tyquan Thornton. I believe Tyquan Thornton will take the top off that Lions defense. And I really do think with all the injury questions about Xavier Worthy, he was doubtful, then he's playing. And I think if somebody falls asleep in that Detroit secondary who is now without Terry and Arnold, I think you just look at Tyquan Thornton and you say, go. And I think Patrick could find him for a touchdown tonight.
Plus 270 is his anytime touchdown number. So thank you for finding one that I can play and feel good about. So Tyquan Thornton, plus 270. He's number 80. That weighs about 140 pounds. But the brother can run. Brother can run. Let's look at, because we've got maybe about 10 minutes left before you can get your prop bets in. Let's look at rushing yards, because this is something that has been cashing almost every single game, Mikey. And I'm going to at least one of the quarterbacks. Jared Goff normally isn't on this list. But Patrick Mahomes, they continue to take it. Last week, his number is 21.5. He went, I think, north of 60, certainly north of 50. Tonight, they've raised it to 28.5. Do you still, and it's even money, basically minus 110. Do you think because they're 2 and 3, my gut tells me that number 15 is sitting in the locker room right now, 15 minutes before game time, saying, I got to do everything in my power to get the job done tonight, including running the ball again, just like he did last Monday night. I like that number. I think he gets over 35 or 40 tonight.
Yeah, he's averaging 38 on the ground at the quarterback position, and for Patrick Mahomes by any means necessary. I mean, that's what this game comes down to. And while I talked about the left tackles being out, and I think it could help the passing game, it also will very much help Patrick Mahomes and his rushing yards, because when Aiden Hutchinson has foam coming out of his mouth because he has an easy direct path to Patrick Mahomes, I think honestly Mahomes' best ability will be his escapability. So I really like that number for Patrick Mahomes. I think he passes it easily, as does Jared Goff and his very whopping half a yard.
Yeah, it's always like over half yard, and then he doesn't cash and go, what happened? There's a reason it's a half a yard. Let's flip the game over to the receivers now, because Xavier Worthy has numbers all over the board, which tells me he's going to play tonight. And for a guy like him, if he's going to play, he's got to be 100%. He's way too fragile of a body for them to throw him out there if he's nursing anything whatsoever. So he has the second highest number in the game at 60.5. Amon-Ra St. Brown, per the usual, at 72.5. They are your number one receivers. And Kelce is at 44.5. I feel like he has started to get it going just a little bit more. And then that insane athlete, Jameson Williams, is right between them around 45.5. Who do you like tonight in the air?
For me, it's Travis Kelce and his receptions at 4.5. I like the over at a -120. I do like Amon-Ra St. Brown's over at 72.5. I think there's very few receivers that you can trust over 70. He is one of them. Coach, you mentioned Jameson Williams, and it's a tricky situation with Jameson Williams. So I would advise anyone who is interested in the speedster out of Alabama, always look for him in rushing and receiving. Dan Campbell is tricky, and he may only get one catch for 11 yards, but he could take an end around 50 yards and you'll cash that way. So stay away from him just receiving. Look for him receiving and rushing.
All right, quickly to the receptions. You said you like whose receptions over?
Kelce over 4.5 at a -120.
Okay, and Amon-Ra St. Brown 5.5 or 6.5. That's as high as I ever want to go, and I like him tonight. We do not cover receivers very well at all. Certainly not receiver ones. We just don't. And Amon, he's not scared to run an 8-yard hitch or run across the middle. He'll go anywhere. So for me, I would probably lean into both. His catches at 6.5, but it's a little juicy, -135, and then his number at 72.5. Because I don't know what it is, Mikey, but this year, our defense, they go, oh, you got a really good Chiefs defense. And as a fan, and you understand this, you're like, I said this yesterday at the golf course. They're like, but coach, you have 3 chips. I'm like, I don't care. I don't have one this year. And this year, we're not the same defense we were. So I don't know what it's been, but not getting off the field means more opportunities for these wide receivers and for Jared Goff, I think, to up their numbers, which is why I think the overs are very, very alive for this Lions team tonight, even though I think the Chiefs can still win the game.
Yeah. When you look at this game, it's really unfortunately going to come down to a quarterback battle. As good as both defenses can be, this is going to be a showcase game for Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. These two teams, these two franchises are driven by their quarterbacks. So as much as I want to believe that the Chiefs can stop the run, I do believe that's how the Lions need to establish this game. But again, Dan Campbell is Dan Campbell, so you believe they're going to do one thing. You can have the perfect blueprint for him, and he go, nah, I don't think so. Could you imagine trying to rob a bank with Dan Campbell? Be like, all right, Dan, we go out the back door. Cops will never see us. No, I think we should go to the second floor, jump down the roof, and then I think we'll be all right. Like, no, Dan, it's just right there. So I do wonder if Dan Campbell will outcoach himself in this game. But for the Kansas City Chiefs, when are we going to see Andy Reid back thriving as this team's head coach? A lot of injuries, a lot of negativity around the Chiefs. I want to see Andy Reid put a staple on the season in this game.
I want to see some energy. I want to see some positivity. I want to see some guys on the sidelines that are looking like they're having fun. Ever since Kelce got engaged to Boo thing, he doesn't look like he's having any fun. And Mahomes looks like the year that he lost to everybody early on. This is not a fun vibe right now in Kansas City, and they're certainly not out of it. But they have a first-place schedule. It's not going to get any easier. They got to win. Real quick, let's just do our own little fun Legends Lounge, if you don't mind, Mikey. I've got the first touchdown numbers pulled up here, and it's plus 1,000 or higher. Anybody in the chat, you can play along. It's not official because producer, man, I don't even know where he is. Can't work on a Sunday night. What's he ever done? We have Xavier Worthy, Kareem Hunt, Kelsey's a plus 1,100. I'm going to give you the first choice, Mikey. Who would you like to go with? You got Isaiah Pacheco, eligible, Sam Laporta, Mahomes. All these guys are north of plus 1,000. Who do you like here?
You mentioned a lot of great names. Travis Kelce, Jameson Williams, even there, Sam Laporta, Pacheco. I just look up and down the list, and there's only one name I can choose. From the dirty LSU, Tyquan Thornton. He's going to find the end zone. I am all in, Coach.
Wow, he's at plus 1,700 tonight to score the first touchdown of the game. And if you do play at BetMGM, kind of a cool thing they do, that if you don't score first, I believe you can still cash on your second one. It's called Second Chance, I think they do that. It's called Second Chance. So I hear the commercials all the time. I'm like, I don't know, because I can't get BetMGM in California. So I can't bet through BetMGM, which sucks. California, get your stuff together. All right, so you're going to go Tyquan Thornton to plus 1,700. All right, we got about 4 minutes to get this in. So, man. You know what? I'm going to take Kelce at plus 1,100. I think that Mahomes and Kelsey, they've got to have a big game. I think Kelsey goes over his catches, his yardage, and I think he scores at least one time because, Mikey, if they fall to 2-4 and they're 2 games back of not one team but 2, that's a really, really tall hill to climb with only 11 games left. So I think tonight is a must win, an absolute must win. So I'm going to say that my bets are going to be the Chiefs on the money line. Kelsey's over 4.5. Love that. His number or his yards, and I believe we like Mahomes on the ground. Anything else that you like that you're kind of making semi-official on the show right now?
Yeah, I'll make it official. I like the over 51.5. I like the Chiefs on the money line, and give me Xavier Worthy for an anytime touchdown.
All right, there you go. There are some official plays from us that you won't see on the recap screen tomorrow. Why? Because you guys are special. You come here when nobody else does. Well, there's a lot of other people actually watching right now, so thank you all very much. Big number on a Sunday night. But you guys know what it is. This is a special time. Just you and us. Nobody else needs to know. All right, final take time. We're going to get the hell out of Dodge. The game starts in 8 minutes. Mikey, your final take.
Another wacky weekend in the NFL, and I'm just going to say it for the rest of time until he proves it otherwise. Baker Mayfield is your 2025 NFL MVP, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, today was one of those days that you really feel like certain players are locked in, certain teams are locked in, and then other players have just kind of almost given up, which is something you don't say about NFL players. That's like the kiss of death. But today you had no rivalry games, unless you want to count the Browns and the Steelers. But everybody else was playing a team that they're not all that familiar with. So it was about talent. And the talent got it done in Carolina. And Dallas proved once again that they can have a big win over the Jets and come back the next week and lay an absolute egg. Dallas, they're frauds. They continue to be frauds. I feel bad for the 49ers, to be honest with you. Green Bay is better than I think people expected. And I feel bad for the Rams if Puka Nacua is going to be out for any significant period of time, because the Rams have a really good team this year, and I think they can be dangerous in the West. All right, we will be back tomorrow morning live at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You guys know at BTT Studios, Mondays is our busiest day of the week. Coach and Company in the morning, the podcast. Then we have Off the Ropes in the afternoon, Coach and Bro at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then the Monday Night Grind. 2 big games tomorrow, including Mikey's Bears taking on the Commanders. What's the other Monday night game? Yeah, Buffalo and Atlanta. So we have 2 games to break down, 2 chances to get into the Legends Lounge tomorrow night. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. As always, I'm the coach for Mikey P and everybody else here at the team. We'll see you tomorrow morning, breaking the whole weekend down just like we love to do. This has been Coach and Company. We'll see you tomorrow.